All right, next on the agenda, we have the chairman's report. So we're in the last stretch of the current school year. This time of year always becomes hectic with everything that it takes to bring the year to a close. I want to wish our students good luck on your testing. We have some great teachers, so I know our students are prepared. I'd like to thank Johnson & Johnson for sponsoring the Warbirds for sponsoring and the Warbirds for partnering with Wilson County Schools to bring over 3,000 third through fifth graders to a Warbirds game at their new stadium on April 29th. Partnerships like this don't exist everywhere, so we're very thankful to have them in our community. I'd like to congratulate Ms. Dana Page on being the 2026-2027 Principal of the Year. Ms. Page is our principal at Elm City Middle. Mr. Breen, Mr. Batts, and myself all have students in her school and can all attest to the great job that she does. We also named Ms. Carlina Bynum from Fike High School as our 2026-2027 Teacher of the Year. Ms. Bynum goes above and beyond every day for teachers and students. She also boasts a 95% student success rate in earning industrial level certifications. We are very proud of both of these individuals for everything that they bring to Wilson County Schools. Lastly, we've had a few ribbon cuttings over the past few weeks. We cut the ribbon at the new Wash Center at Elm City, and we cut the ribbon at the Hunt Track, and we also cut a ribbon at the Beddingfield Track. So we've had a lot of good news over the past month and since our last meeting. And that's going to conclude my report. I'm going to give it to Dr. Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Board members, audience members, it is that time of year for the early colleges. Graduation ceremonies are tomorrow night. So get out your robes and make sure you know which side of the tassel should start with for graduates already. If not, we'll help you when the time comes. But we wish our early college graduates all the best and applaud those underclassmen and staff on the great school year. That's tomorrow night. We also have a lot of awards day happening this time of year with Bettyfield held their awards day on May 14th. Hunt's awards day is May 19th and Fikes is May 22nd. For those of you not keeping score at home, the last day of school is June the 3rd for traditional schools, and graduation is scheduled for, anybody know? June-ish does not count. June 6th at 9 a.m. Do not be late. Do not be late. June 6th at 9 a.m. I wanted to piggyback very quickly on Mr. Boykin's comment about the Warbirds. Some of our folks right up here, Dr. Wilson and Miss May and others, had a big part to play in the Warbirds and our students attending that, and that was a lot of work. So thank you to them for making that happen. That is a big logistical lift. Ms. Spencer at the back as well, and others. If you were involved, you might want to raise your hand. Jennifer Lewis at the back as well. I know she wouldn't. So there's a lot of work that goes into having 3,000 students do anything. But I also wanted to give a shout out to our students and our teachers for that day, but especially for our students. The things I heard from vendors and outsiders that aren't familiar with our students was how well behaved and how well they represented our school system. I had a chance to pop in for a little bit that day. It wasn't a surprise to me, but folks that don't spend time in our schools and know our students, they were awesome, and they should be commended. And it just goes to show you when the expectations are high, our students meet them. And that was an awesome day, and we've heard that from officials with the Warbirds and others in our community, and our students should be commended as well as everyone involved with it. So thank you to all those that did the extra work. It was a lot, and I really appreciate it. I was just glad to piggyback and come by and walk through and see it. So anyway, just wanted a shameless plug for them. Yay. It really was something to behold. Also, I want to take a moment to spotlight one of our own at the front table, Assistant Superintendent Robin May. I know she'll love this. She represented Wilson County Schools on an educator panel during the State Board of Education work session on May 5th. Ms. May shared her experience and perspective on the role of digital learning in North Carolina. In fact, she was invited to come and speak. She highlighted both the opportunities and challenges facing public education and did a remarkable job representing our district and advocating for students and educators across the state. So congrats to Ms. May for repping WCS, a lot of the work with our STEM and other things, and the name recognition that's out there for our district. And she stepped up to the plate and went and repped our district. So thank you, Ms. May, for doing that for us. I appreciate that. And Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Dr. Mills. Next up on the agenda, we have our section 4, public input, but we do not have anybody signed up to speak. So we are going to move through it and go into our committee reports. And the first one will be administrative services with Mr. Breen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Under information items, we had 2 contracts which required board notification. The first is with Seating Safety Solutions Incorporated in the amount of $44,937.70. That contract is to purchase and install aisle handrails on the home and visitor football bleachers at Beddingfield and Hunt High Schools. Additionally, it will install footboards footboards will be added to create steps and close gaps that exist in the aisles. We're not going to do those at Fike because they currently have handrails, and the new visitor side football bleachers will have aisle handrails after installation. The second contract was with Petroleum Equipment Services of Wilson Incorporated in the amount of $30,734.29 for the purchase and installation of new fuel pumps at the Transportation Department. We then had 4 action items. The first is contracts requiring board approval. Mr. Chair,
Mr. Breen.
on behalf of the Administrative Services Committee, I recommend to the full board that we approve the contract with Safel Incorporated to extend the custodial services agreement with Wilson County Schools for an additional year for cleaning supplies and custodial training starting on July 1st, 2026, and concluding on June 30th, 2027, in the amount of $293,028.72 for 1 year, or $24,419.06 per month.
All right, it has been moved by Mr. Breen and seconded by Ms. Powell that we approved a contract with Safel to extend the custodial services agreement with Wilson County Schools for an additional year for cleaning supplies and custodial training starting on July 1st, 2026, and concluding on June 30th, 2027, in the amount of $293,028.72 for 1 year, or $24,419.06 a month. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Breen.
This second contract is with Universal Equipment Company. This will be our second to last contract for the dining room seating and replacement of dining room seating. We've already accomplished that at our traditional high schools and our middle schools. And this will take care of our elementary schools. Mr. Chair,
Mr. Breen.
on behalf of the Administrative Services Committee, I move that we adopt the contract with the Universal Equipment Company for the purchase and installation of new dining room seating and the removal and disposal of old dining room seating for Barnes Elementary School, Gardner's Elementary School, Jones Elementary School, Lee Woodard Elementary School, Lucama Elementary School, New Hope Elementary School, Rockridge Elementary School, Statensburg Elementary School, Vic Elementary School, and Vincent Bynum Elementary School in the amount of $487,330.83.
All right, it has been moved by Mr. Breen and seconded by Dr. Fitch that we adopt the contract with Universal Equipment Company for the purchase and installation of new dining room seating and the removal and disposal of old dining room seating for Barnes Elementary School, Gardner's Elementary School, Jones Elementary School, Lee Woodard Elementary School, Lucama Elementary School, New Hope Elementary School, Rock Ridge Elementary School, Stantonsburg Elementary School, Vic Elementary School, and Vincent Bynum Elementary School. Is there any discussion?
Just very briefly,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair. I just wanted to add the caveat that new dining room seating will be purchased for Frederick Douglass Elementary School, Wells Elementary School, and Margaret Hearn Elementary School after we complete construction of those schools.
All right, thank you for that. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Breen.
Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Administrative Service, we received a presentation from our CFO, Shannon Collins, in regards to several budget amendments. Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Administrative Services Committee, I move that we approve the 2025-2026 State Expense Fund, Local Current Expense Fund, Capital Outlay Expense Fund, Federal Expense Fund, and the Local Special Revenue Fund amendments as presented by administration.
It has been moved by Mr. Breen and seconded by Dr. Fitch that we approve the state expense fund, the local current expense fund, the capital outlay expense fund, the federal expense fund, and the local special revenue fund. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Breen.
Mr. Chair, as we move towards the end of the year, it's incumbent upon us to make this to give the superintendent authorization to approve year-end budgets. This is something we do every year. And in that vein, on behalf of the Administrative Services Committee, I move that we authorize the superintendent to make the necessary budget adjustments to balance the budget ending June 30th, 2026.
All right, it has been moved by Mr. Breen, seconded by Dr. Fitch, that we authorize the superintendent to approve the year-end budget amendments from 2025-2026. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Breen.
Mr. Chair, the last action item that we had came after a presentation from Barnhill and Oakley Collier Architects in regards to the new Wells Hearn Elementary School. We were presented with 3 concept design options. The first two of which, the first 2 designs depicted the project, or how the project would appear if we attempted to construct the school while students were still attending Wells. If we selected either of those 2 options, any kind of expansion we attempted to do in the future would have been severely limited. Also, it would have presented some logistical difficulties in the construction of the school and in just sort of negotiating and navigating the coexistence of that project as well as the daily school operations. To that end, we were presented a third option. That third option would be the demolition of Wells Elementary School and building a school on top of that site. This option provided the most flexibility in regards to adding additions in the future. They estimate that it will reduce the costs of the project. We won't have any kind of phasing plan like we would have to have if we were attempting construction while school was still in session and children were next door. The only disadvantage to the third option would be delayed construction that would only start once Frederick Douglass Elementary School would be open. But we were guaranteed by one of the fellows from Barnhill, and I made sure that that was put in the minutes, that Frederick Douglass will be completed July of 2027. Is that correct? So site option 3 is the option we chose with demolition to commence in July of 2027, which puts us within the requisite timeframe to begin the construction of the project in accordance with the receipt of the lottery funds that we got, the needs-based grant. We also think that this option will probably be the safest for our students and will give them the most space to do things that kids do, like play on playgrounds, have playgrounds, and be safe and well cared for at school. Am I missing anything, anybody else in the committee? Dr. Williams, am I missing anything?
No, sir.
All right. To that end, on behalf of the Administrative Services Committee, I move that we adopt option 3 as the concept design option for the new Wells Hearn Elementary School.
All right, it has been moved by Mr. Breen and seconded by Dr. Fitch that we adopt option 3 as the concept design for the new Wells Hearn Elementary School. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously.
And Mr. Chairman, that ends my report.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Breen. Next up on the agenda, we have our Instructional Services Committee report with Mrs. Boyette.
Thank you. We had contracts requiring board notification, a couple of those. The first one was for the Center of Inquiry-Based Learning, Science. Am I on? Okay. Well, let me start all over again. We had several contracts that we were informed about, and I'd like to just make everyone aware of those. Every member of the committee was there. In fact, every member of the board was there, so thank you. The first one was the Center for Inquiry-Based Learning. These are student activity packs in the amount of $61,103.70. That, to give a little info, we've used it in 5th and 8th grade. It worked well, so now we are expanding it, so it'll be used in grades K through 8 the coming year. ClassLink is for the annual license and service fee. That is in the amount of $41,138.40. The next one was Imagine Learning. That's for the Ingenuity site licenses for $69,690.96. And you may know that Ingenuity is the one that we do the online learning with. I almost called it News Ella, but I then realized that it's News ELA Incorporated, and that is for a program, computer program that we use in grades K through 8, $88,050. And then from Renaissance, FastBridge subscription for grades K through 5, and that's in math. It does the math screening, interventions, and monitoring in those grades, and it's $55,426.80. And those were for notification only.
Ms. Boyette,
Yes, ma'am.
you made a couple of mathematical errors. Imagine Learning was for $69,670, not $690. And the News ELA is $88,000.50, not $88,050.
Okay, I stand corrected. Any other corrections? Next were consolidated programs application overview. We got a specific sheet that shows no changes. This has to do with how we use our Title I, II, III, and IV funds. They are all federal funds. The main points explain to us how we qualified for this funding, and then how we focused it on which schools. They all don't get the same amount, but it named all of the elementary, middle, and high schools, which have not changed from this year. On the more specific sheet, we got an overview of how those federal funds are going to be spent in each titled area. We learned about how we have lost some funds for the past 2 years. This year, we did not lose as much in Title I. We gained a little in Title II and Title III, and in Title IV, we have more flexibility. And we're informed that we're planning to use some, since STEM has been so successful, we're adding the arts to this coming year. This is under well-rounded educational opportunities. For our equitable services, we learned about how private schools also can apply for and receive fundings in these categories. We were given a list of the schools that have requested. Wilson County Schools gets the money, and we are the coordinator with these private schools to see that they get the amount that they are entitled to for those services. Anything I missed on that? All right, moving on, our next item are the revised policies. They are all first reads. The first one is 3225, 4312, 7320, technology responsible use, and it had mostly to do with just a technical requirement by the Federal Communications FCC, which I don't know what the last C stands for, and a footnote. The next item was revised policy 5071, 7351, electronically stored information retention, and once again, it was a simple changing of wording. And, excuse me, I think this is the one that we added digital resources on, which was required. The next item was revised policy 6220, operation of school nutrition services. The most extensive part in this was some required language to explain when students have unpaid debts, that we are focusing primarily on the adults in the household who are responsible for providing the funds for those meals purchases, and not on the students, since they have no control over money, and we specified some examples of things that are not permitted. The last item was revised policy 7130, licensure, and it made a statement that was already true, but spelled out, having to do with when licensure moves from converting a residency license to an initial professional license or a continuing professional license. And since they're first reads, they were information only. Moving into our action item, we had a number of contracts, and if it is the pleasure, I move that on behalf of instructional services that we approve a contract with 95% Group, the core program grades K through 5 in the amount of $171,077.32 with Beata for EC contracted personnel not to exceed $100,000, with Vivian Costa for EC contracted personnel not to exceed $105,000, for the Division of Employment and Independence for People with Disabilities, vocational rehabilitation services to assist in transition from school to work for $123,763.00, to Focal Point Medical Staffing for EC contracted personnel not to exceed $300,000, for Kristen Prosser for EC contracted personnel not to exceed $105,000, no cents, and for Venture Rehabilitation Group Incorporated for EC contracted personnel in 3 areas, preschool, private school, and K-12, not to exceed $350,000.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Mrs. Boyette, seconded by Ms. Powell, that we approve the contracts. 95% group, 95% core program grades K through 5, in the amount of $171,077.32. Beata for EC contracted personnel not to exceed $100,000. Vivian Costa, EC contracted personnel not to exceed $105,000. The Division of Employment and Independence for People with Disabilities for vocational rehabilitation services to assist in transition from school to work in the amount of $123,763. Focal Point Medical Staffing for EC contracted personnel not to exceed $300,000. Kristen Prosser, EC contracted personnel not to exceed $105,000. Venture Rehabilitation Group Incorporated for EC contracted personnel not to exceed $350,000. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Mrs. Powell.
I move that the Wilson County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in the North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and 6, and 115C-319 through 321, to consider confidential student matters as provided in the North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and North Carolina General Statute 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 United States Code 1232G, to establish or give instructions concerning the Board of Education's negotiating position concerning a potential acquisition and/or lease of real property as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A5, and to consult with the Board of Education attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in the North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3.
I second.
All right, it has been moved by Ms. Powell, seconded by Mrs. Boyette, that the Wilkes County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and 6 and 115C-319 through 321 to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and North Carolina General Statute 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G to establish or give instructions concerning the Board of Education's negotiating position concerning a potential acquisition and/or lease of real property as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A5, and to consult with the Board of Education attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it unanimously, and we are moving into closed session.